wonderful day for us to be celebrating here again at the James B. Beam Distilling Company. You know, when we started this project, we talked a lot about my great-great-grandfather and his back-to-work folks mentality that got this facility started back in just 120 days after Prohibition, at the age of 70 years old on top of that. I laugh as I wrote this because I'm sure Jim would have some pretty choice words for us in the length of time that it took us to complete this this experience. But you know, the one thing that remains unchanged is our sense of pride and excitement. So today we welcome you to experience Genuine in the Making. The new James B. Beam Distilling Homestead experience was designed to welcome everyone to the family home of American whiskey, where all our celebrated whiskeys can be found. This reimagined experience brings to life the rich stories of America's first family of bourbon, the legends, and future batches of American whiskey. Our homestead celebrates the over 225 years of American whiskey history, honoring, elevating, and pioneering what American whiskey should be and could be. From our three family distilleries, the James Beam Distillery, the Booker Noe Distillery, and the Freddie Noe Distillery. At the heart of our soul place here in Claremont is the Freddie Noe Distillery, where our super premium collection of small batch and single barrel whiskeys, Booker's, Baker's, and Little Book, are crafted. It is here where the future of American whiskey is being crafted, the Beam Way, Genuine. From the distillery named after my father, Fred B. Noe, we will continue to honor the legacy of American whiskey, paying tribute to the exciting future and possibilities of Genuine in the Making. We welcome friends at the American Outpost, where we will share our heritage and family stories, and ensure they leave as family after a warm and soulful meal at the kitchen table. To close, I'd like to share a couple of quotes that I think really radiated with me across this project. The first one is one I overheard my dad saying, repeating from my granddad: "If we can get the whiskey to people's lips, I know they will enjoy it." You know, this comment on the back patio of the Beam home in Bardstown, you know, it really resonates with me in this project, because when he was creating small batch bourbons is when he was saying this, and he knew that with his passion and understanding of American whiskey, that if we could just get it to the mouths of our consumers, that everyone would enjoy. The second one being one from my father: "Enjoy it any damn way you please." This new home place will help us further push the possibilities of enjoying American whiskey, literally any damn way you please. From the new to industry grain, distillation, and barrel innovations we can do in the distilleries, to the food pairing and cocktails at the kitchen table. And the last one, or I guess one more, would be from Socrates, which was one of Jim Beam's favorite quotes: "The way to gain a good reputation is to endeavor to be what you appear to be." And to me, Jim Beam used to place this on the side of all of our bottles, and that's a big signal for me for the constant quality and craftsmanship that goes into our whiskey over the last 225 years. And then one final quote to close is one, I'm not sure who said it first, but across this project and across my speech, you've heard me say it a couple of times: welcome to Genuine in the Making. And with that, I will kick it over to my friend, Governor Andy Beshear.
All right, good afternoon. What a great day for Kentucky. What a great day for bourbon. Now I want to thank Freddie for kicking us off, and recently, I will tell you, he was kind enough to provide me with a pretty nice bottle of bourbon. I remember he presented it, it was signed, it looked great, and as I accepted it, I looked at him and I said, "Freddie, you know I'm probably gonna drink this, right?" And he and his dad looked at me and said, "Good, because that's why we made it." You know, Freddie and I have a few things in common beyond our love for bourbon. Like Freddie, I got a pretty well-known father. who worked in the same area and who I am proud of. And I think both of our fathers have done a heck of a lot for Kentucky. And like Freddie, I am working hard to live up to the incredible examples of the past, to honor the hard work that's been done, and at the same time, take our state and take this industry into the future. And that's why I am really excited to be back here today in Claremont to celebrate the grand reopening of this amazing but also reimagined venue. In just a few moments, we will cut the ribbon on the James B. Beam Distilling Company Homestead Experience. What does this mean to Kentucky and our economy? This is a $45 million project that is a celebration of the best of Kentucky, and I cannot wait for people from all over the world. I know we got friends from Illinois here today to come see the very best of Kentucky and to take a little bit of it home with them. The project also ties together two of Kentucky's strongest and most resilient industries, spirits and tourism. Both help sustain our economy even during the darkest days of the last couple years, and both are surging like the rest of our economy. Kentucky's bourbon industry continues to play a crucial role in our economy and in our culture. It is oftentimes the way that people first learn about Kentucky. And when they hear about everything else we have to offer, they say, wow, you have all these amazing things happen, and you make a delicious product too. Let's look at it. According to a recent study by the Kentucky Distillers Association's bourbon annual economic impact in the Commonwealth was an amazing $8.94 billion a year. And right now, there are 95 distilleries operated by 75 companies spread out over 40 of Kentucky's counties. That is double what we had just 20 years ago. Or look at what it means to our families. And let's give it up to all the incredible employees that are here today helping out. They are part of this industry that employs 22,500 people with an annual payroll of $1.23 billion that puts food on the table for so many Kentucky families. And I'm proud that since just the start of my administration, we have seen unprecedented growth. In the last 2.5 years, in the spirits industry alone, we have seen $1 billion of new investment or expansion in the spirits industry. And we can expect more. I want to give a quick thank you today to a very good friend of mine. From the very moment that she was nominated to be our new U.S. Secretary of Commerce, promised me that she would step up and fight for the bourbon industry. And I want to thank Gina Raimondo for ending the harmful EU tariffs and making sure that there is a broad market out there for bourbon in the years to come. And we see everything that's happening. Today's grand opening is a big part of the incredible trend in bourbon. Industry-wide, distillers are in the middle of $5.2 billion of a building boom, with $3.3 billion pledged for projects over the next 5 years. And the production levels of the industry are also just unprecedented, meaning there's a lot of good stuff to come. Distillers produced a record $2.4 million of bourbon in 2020. That's the third time they've topped 2 million barrels a year. And right now, there are 10.3 million barrels of bourbon aging in rickhouses across this Commonwealth. We need to all thank the James B. Beam Distilling Company for its long leadership in growing this industry to the powerhouse that it is today. And this Beam Homestead Experience is just the latest sign that Kentucky bourbon is America's native spirit and so much more. In richness and in complexity, it represents Kentucky and is a rapidly growing engine of our $8.9 billion tourism industry. See, you know, the Bourbon Trail and facilities like this are bringing millions of people to Kentucky every single year. They are showing the best of what we have, and you're seeing it in your communities more and more each year People who come to visit an experience like this are staying. They're moving here. They are bringing their businesses because we've shown them what living in Kentucky is all about. I want to mention our Tourism Development Act passed by the General Assembly many years ago that provide incentives for places like this. I appreciate Rocky Atkins. I appreciate Senators Thayer and Schickel. Thank you for all your work in pushing this industry forward. It is visionary projects like this and smart investments and smart policies that will keep this amazing economic momentum moving forward. Folks, we are moving out of a tough and difficult time, a pandemic that was a historic moment, but we are moving into just as bright of a historic moment that's in front of us. Thanks in part to bourbon, last year, in the midst of this pandemic, we shattered every single economic development record on the books. So let's thank the Noe family, James B. Beam Distilling Company, and this experience for showing the very best of Kentucky.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Governor Beshear, and welcome to a beautiful day in Claremont. Thank you. Considering how unpredictable the weather has been nowadays, I figured we had probably 1 in the 80 chance. I guess this would be a good day, and here we are. A gorgeous, wonderful day.
Pretty good odds lately.
Pretty good odds. But we are so grateful for your leadership here in the state of Kentucky, and also your unwavering support of our industry. We're also very, very inspired by your vision of making the bluegrass the Sonoma of the South, a destination state. And I can tell you that we at Beam Suntory and at James B. Beam, also at Maker's Mark and our other distillery, are doing everything we possibly can to support this commitment. We invest every year $500 million to make the finest bourbon in the state of Kentucky. We employ 1,300 people, and we have now currently close to 4 million barrels that are sitting in rack houses. Now you said there's 10.3 million barrels.
You got a lot of them.
So that deserves an applause, right? A nice big share of the barrels sitting in the States. But we've been making bourbon here for the last 225 years, and we intend to continue doing so for the next 225 years. And it's really very much this ambition that has driven us to make this bold investment in our Claremont facility. Of course, the home place of our iconic brands from the James B. Beam Distilling Company. However, when we all met here 2.5 years ago for the groundbreaking event, no one could have imagined the challenges that we and the world would face. So the fact that we're all meeting here today, a short 2.5 years after, is very much nothing short of a miracle. And it's a testament to the resiliency of our people, the resiliency of our home place, and the resiliency of the state of Kentucky. So I'm personally very, very grateful to our shareholders, Suntory Holdings. At the time when a lot of people were retrenching, we were literally digging in. I'm also so thrilled that so many of our team members are here with us today to share this special moment. Members from our brand house, operation, supply chain, consumer experience, IT and digital teams are all here, and they really deserve our applause. I also would like to recognize the talented partners that are here today. People from Love, Pro Fisher, Hakuhodo, Burke Mayer, Joseph & Joseph, OJB, Music Construction, Shomo Design and Construction, and Stice Hospitality. It does really take a village to do something like this. They're all here with us, so please join me in a very, very warm moment. Now this renovation that you see here obviously very much is an embodiment of our big ambition to become the undisputed American whiskey leader, and also our big ambition to premiumize our portfolio. And this ambition is underpinned by a commitment that by 2030 more than 2/3 of our portfolio will be driven by premium brands. So it's very unique. So we have set out to become the primary destination, the finest visitor experience on the Bourbon Trail. And today we offer an immersive experience like no other, where our brands are showcased and where the quality of the making is made the star and the hero. We also have built the Fred Noe Distillery to bring the rich histories of our small batch brands to life, but also to serve for Freddie as he charts the course for the next evolution of the American whiskey industry. And then for all our hungry guests, we have the kitchen table, which serves absolutely delicious fares and which is already making the list of the top restaurants in Louisville. Now, of course, as you can imagine, for all of us at BIM Suntory, this is a very special, very emotional, and very proud day. And the fact that it's so emotional is also because, of course, we have with us America's first family of bourbon to lead and inspire our journey. So with that, I have the honor to introduce the man who envisioned all of this 5 years ago, and he will tell you the story. Please give a warm welcome to our 7th generation master distiller, the one and only Fred Noe.
I want to take this opportunity to thank every one of y'all for being with us today. And today, we're celebrating the next chapter of the James B. Beam Distilling Company's history. You know, back in 2017, after my mother's funeral, I was asked by Beam Suntory leadership, you know, how do you envision the future of our company? You know, in my mind, you know, that was always pretty clear. Since the future of our company is the future of our family. The thing I wanted to do was to ensure we built a true home for the James B. Beam Distilling Company. Imagine my surprise when Freddie dedicated the new distillery in my name in 2019 at the groundbreaking. I had no clue it was coming. He really got me. The Fred B. Noe Distillery represents not only the future of the James B. Beam Distilling Company, but the future of American whiskey. You know, and that's exactly why Freddie will be leading the next chapter, embodying the heritage and the legacy of our family with our history in distilling while pioneering the future of American whiskey. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my greatest honor to introduce my son. The new master distiller of the Fred B. Noe Distillery. I think I'll surprise him today for a change. It was pretty tough, but we got it done. But you know, I never really had the chance to work with my dad, Booker Noe, in the distillery creating products. You know, I always wish I had, because I would love to have heard what he had to say, what a master distiller really was. But now I have that chance to work with Freddie by my side. You know, it's going to be cool in the Fred B. Noe Distillery. And you know, it's the first time in history of the James B. Beam Distilling Company that 2 family members have worked side by side, both holding the master distiller title. Freddie has always led with taste, representing the traditions of America's first family of bourbon, you know, and letting his creativity elevate new American whiskey profiles. Today is the first step as we prepare him to lead the James B. Beam Distilling Company one day as the 8th generation master distiller. But I ain't leaving just yet. So join me in raising a glass. Everybody needs a little glass here. I need a big glass. I got one. I wanted to say to thank those before us and those that are with us today as we embark on our next chapter. A symbol of what can be, a taste of the future of American whiskey. Here's to Freddie Noe. Here's to the future of the James B. Beam Distilling Company. And here's to our beloved homeland, Kentucky. Cheers. Cheers. Damn, I needed that. Also, I have a little he might have figured this one out. Our good friends at Vendome, I made a little call to Mike Sherman and said, I need a little favor. And so we got Freddie a thief made, spare the moment. It's got his name on it and the date. And I was up meeting Mike just a little while ago when he was going to get lunch. I was afraid he was going to see me. And we kind of met like a deal on the side of the road up here. And all of a sudden, here comes my son driving by, going to get a sandwich. Here's your own thief.